Hello, hello, here at the Tom Guide Krakow. As you see, today with me is a special guest. There are 7 years of the channel Tom Guide Krakow. Exactly on the 21st December 2015, I did the first films in Czech Republic around the Oskar Schindler. As just you heard about such my passion. But today we're speaking about the Polish Lafayette. His name is the Tadeusz Kościuszko. How is it pronounced, Kościuszko?
Kościuszko?
Yeah, Kościuszko, Kosciuszko. The highest volcano in Australia is called Mount Kosciuszko. Then the island in Alaska, over 40 kilometers long, is also Kosciuszko Island. Then is also the Kosciuszko Bridge in Chicago, and other towns in the United States are also called after him. Who was he? But it's not just boring biographic details. I tell you about that Mr. Kościuszko, how was the person, how was the feeling about his life trouble, and how the fur of Russian Tsar they got to American President Thomas Jefferson. That's a very special things, always something curious. But we walking 1 kilometer the Kościuszko Street, just at the feet of Wawel. You see the meander of Vistula River. And just we have to look up for the icicles, because today is the temperature plus 4 degrees Celsius, and there's still big danger, not of course, of the avalanches and icicles falling on the streets. So as such, we should wear helmets. And how is it come that you come for the Christmas, Holger, from Germany?
Now we have special time. We have the first time since a long time snow here in Krakow. And here are also very nice, this Christmas markets. You can have a mulled wine here. And it's really special atmosphere now with the snow, the first time since a long time. And you know, Corona is now history, so you can really walk around free. You can use all the restaurants, so you can have a coffee, a nice dish, nice Polish cuisine. And so I really have a good time in Poland, especially here in Krakow.
Oh, it's a short, just chillax. Especially greetings for the lovely group Kochamkrakow, over 43,000 members. We've got also the native speaker administrator, Jet Nichols. That's why maybe we meet him on the way. Is there some a little surprise? That's why we're going to Salvator district. Let's go, just not to talk blah blah blah. There's big thanks, of course, for the our dear sponsors of the channel: Łukasz Zmarzły, Ingrid Kern, Krzysztof and Prawomocny. Those are just the dear friends. And as you see, we're walking on the territory of Zwierzyniec. Zwierzę, it's mean animal. That was the big preserve, royal preserve. On the way, I should show you the former hunting house. We say hunter, we say Jägermeister, we say those are just the stay there. And there was the short time also vodka distillery in that place. But behind me, as you know, the former royal brewery, today Hotel Sheraton. You've got there in Krakow excellent option of the luxurious hotels, full choice. And who was the Mr. Kościuszko? You know, he was born in Belarus. Now Belarus didn't mention Tadeusz Kościuszko as his hero, but they should be proud of because that such territory was born. That was just in 18th century, time of the partition of Poland, but they studied at the military academy. He was big thankful of the family Czartoryski that protected him, and they give the special protection to study. Hello, Annalyn, big thanks. All there Eurasian visitors. As you see, started raining, plus 4 degrees Celsius. And a lot of snow. Krakow is just a snow dunder, we would say. That's very special. With me is my good friend from Germany, from Schwarzwald. We say just Schwabia Desert, just the Holger. He came especially for Christmas to Krakow. It's the still proof the foreign people, they love Krakow. They want to spend the holidays in Krakow. And Mr. Teddy, as his short form, is better to pronounce such a famous general, because the foreigners, they got always problem to pronounce the name Kościuszko, Kosciuszko. wanted to study at the academy. And then he was sent to French Academy of the painting and sculpture. That was not of special for him. He wanted to fight. He wanted to be a real military person. But that was the love trouble. He was just in love to girl with the higher class, social class, and he was just in love with her. And imagine they was the very unlucky moment, because the father of the girl wanted even to kill Kościuszko. He was had to escape from Poland with the love trouble. He traveling to America. Of course, in that time there was the first American Revolution started. The Americans against the British. That was the first American Revolution. He supported George Washington together with the General Pulaski. They supported George Washington in the first American Revolution, 1776. There was such skilled constructor. He constructed all the new military constructions and the river Delaware. And of course the very top officer of the West Point Military Academy. If you heard the word West Point, there was such famous person for West Point academies like President Eisenhower, also General Patton. Those are just the big heroes, and of course next to them is also General Kościuszko. But you know, after this American episode, there was trouble in Poland. As the Polish Lafayette, we say similar like a French general, arrived to Poland and organized uprising. He wanted to keep all social classes. For him, it doesn't matter if there's the farmer or noble or priest, and they wanted united all. That's according to the words equality, fraternity, you know, and the freedom. And they started the insurrection of Kościuszko. Only one uprising in Poland called after the hero Kościuszko. That's just a very, very special form. Oh, you've got the little trouble with the ambulance running down. We're walking just the Tadeusz Kościuszko Street, direction the prestige district of Kraków, Salvator. That's the name from the church that was situated, very old church. There's the ancient church on the hill, and then was the name of the district Salvator. And the area was the former preserve, were a lot of animals. And even in that place that I passed, that was the plan of the first railway station in Kraków. That was just the part. We're walking also of the place that here every year is the tradition with Lykonik, the Lykonik procession. The guy dressed as the Tatar, they preceding that street to the main market square, they commemorating the famous attack on the Tatars, and is a powerful tradition. Hello, Michel Lugov, great to see you. Thank you for recommendation of the channel, supporting. And what next with Kościuszko? You know, uprising lasted about 1 month, but was the big moment because the farmers, with the cedar, they didn't have the ciders, they didn't have the proper, weapon. Just with the farmers' tools, they conquered the much bigger Russian army, Racławice victory. Then Kościuszko, after 1 month, at the end, by the last battle was captured and put to the prison by Tsarin Katarina. And the son of Tsarin Katarina didn't like his mother and freed Kościuszko, but the Kościuszko had to say the loyalty oath. He said there would be a loyal Russian Tsar and got the freedom. Some people say, oh, it was a shame. Not. Because of such oath, they were freed the Polish prisoners in Russia, Empire Russia. And that was the very important, clever gesture of Kościuszko. But he promised the Russian Tsar not ever visit Poland. He started to be a big friend, we'd say, to slaves, Jews, Indians, I tell you one anecdote. He gave the new eyes to the little turtle. The Indian leader was called Little Turtle, and Kościuszko gave him his glasses. And in exchange, the Indian leader gave him the pipe, Indian pipe. Today in Krakow we've got the nice Kościuszko museum. You could see such such pipe. Look at this around here. I'm going in the high danger because you see the red lines. It's mean that is the over me the very dangerous icicles that not removed. The owners of tenement houses should remove it, and there's the still danger that we could be hit by the icicles. Is the temperature plus 4 degrees Celsius. The tram going to Salvator terminal. And you know, that is just other interesting fact that I tell you about the, just the turning camera is the American, the Russian Tsar Paul gave him the fur as the souvenir, gave to the Kościuszko. And he took that fur to United States, and he gave that fur to Thomas Jefferson, his friend. Exactly, the third president of United States, Thomas Jefferson, they called him the purest man of liberty. Kościuszko advised Jefferson to free the all black people, slaves, and he even gave money to him. And in the testament, the last will of Kościuszko was such thing. But the Thomas Jefferson duped him. After death of Kościuszko, Thomas Jefferson had the 600 own slaves working in his plantation, and he didn't want to do that. If he did, maybe United States would be much bigger. And now the last fact that I got just looking, where they came the American flag from. Kościuszko should have the nice party and join the party by the President Washington, and they asked him George Washington asked Tadeusz Kościuszko, what would be the interesting flag, what is the interesting coat of arms of the Sandomierz, that is the little town northeast of Kraków, and exactly the white and red stripes and stars, and that was the proposal for the American flag. The little town Sandomierz, Padre Mateo, 155 kilometers northeast from Kraków. That was inspiration for American flag. But look at this, what is there behind me? That is there, we say, like a Jägermeister house. Yes, Holger, siehst du da, erinnert es ein bisschen ein Haus von der Hunter, Jägermeister, also just there. Okay, this is the official so-called Łowczy-dom. And that, according to tradition, the main royal hunter should have such beautiful palace. So look at this little palace. There was a short time also vodka distillery, and now as any other institutions, but not connecting with hunting. And look at this, the tram line was put in 1913. Since 1913 is the classical gauge rail to Salvatore. That's why it was such interesting episode on the way. You see the huge icicles on the roofs. There was a lot of snow, over the 30 centimeters snow, but the snow is melting in Poland very quickly. That was just very quickly out. And what happened with Kościuszko? Where was he buried? Just he died in Switzerland, and there was no any pole at his funeral, and in Switzerland, Solothurn. That's today Solur, and his body was taken to Krakow. There was the permission of Russian Tsar Alexei I, and they started the big action of the building Waterloo of Krakow, the special commemorating mound. The Poles gathering the soil from all battlefields the Kościuszko fought. For instance, the famous battlefield was the Saratoga in 1777. Together with General Pulaski, there was the big victory of Americans over British. That's the most important. And Kościuszko was buried between the kings, and that's just after the Joseph Poniatowski. That's just one of the first funerals after kings and bishops, 1817. And today, of course, Kościuszko is in our heart. Is the just we say universal friend to people with the different political point of view. Even in time of communism, still Kościuszko was kept as a big hero. Look at this. We're crossing the interesting street Komorowskiego. That was the Rhapsodic Theater. Then John Paul II had their own rehearsals. John Paul II, Polish Pope, wanted to be an actor, and in the time of Second World War was the clandestine study. And under number 9 Komorowskiego, that was also Roman Polański arrived with his father. Roman Polański was born in Paris, and in Komorowskiego staying there, then moved to Warsaw during the Blitzkrieg, and then again back to Kraków and relocated to ghetto. There's just the famous filmmaker from Kraków. Pianist is the best film of Roman Polański, but he is very connected with Kraków. Yes, as you see, the luxurious apartments are between. There's not only old architecture, but the new, very modern, top modern parts are on the way. We are walking just to Salvator Terminal, the place that is also St. Norbert Monastery. And if you got there, feel free to ask any questions. Of course, if somebody will get the time to watch, but the little is the hard to keeping the gimbal with tripod. There's just in one hand. But I got such idea with the starting point Wawel and then walking to Salvator. Kościuszko Mount was built for 3 years. In 1823 was official opening. There was some funny incident. The professors, the very important people, they arguing who should first put the soil at the top on the hill. And suddenly any prostitute from Kraków, they pushed the others, and he threw the first barrel of soil on the Kościuszko Mount. That's why it's the Krakow Waterloo. Okay, now time for joke. Yeah, I know that some of you don't like say that now time for joke, but I use for my group SUBTITLES. Lech Wałęsa met George Bush Sr. and he said to him, Mr. Bush, we gave you 2 famous generals, General Kościuszko and General Pulaski, and you gave us back 2 generals too, General Motors and General Food. Haha, that's just such old joke connected with that's just the situation and American dream. But now the military service that is in central Poland, in Poznań, there is the Camp 1 Kościuszko is called such the first unit also after him. A lot was during Second World War. There was just some military units called after him. There's the Kościuszko. After his death, his horse was so used to stop to any beggar that did the problem, because the horse walked. Thank you, Don. Oh, Don is my dear sponsor. Thank you. I just appreciate. Maybe today we're doing also Heygo tour with my dear Heygo visitors. Don't worry. But I recommend everyone also Heygo platform, the live stream tours. But here in YouTube, they register forever. There's just the gain of the YouTube register. Okay, but the horse of Kościuszko, this is a very special. Okay, because it's the very, very snowy, I don't want to do very long live stream. Just let me just put the tripod and speaking, because I use the wireless microphone with the beautiful background of the just the Hotel Niebieski. That's the just very special hotel behind me. Holger, comes there. That is the very special hotel with beautiful view on the Vistula River. That's why we recommend, highly recommend that, is also that Hotel Niebieski behind me. That's just a very, very nice place with wellness and very high class hotel. And have a look here, the view on the Vistula River. I think the most enchanting is the view on the part of the St. Norbert Monastery. It starts raining, that's why it's my decision that we don't do this as such in the rainy moment. And just on this position, let me tell the last words to you. That's just as you see, that's just what I got in my mind. I told to my groups in the gap between groups. I shared such information. Of course, I could say more. I could say much things for many things for the encyclopedia, but just from my heart, life. I always put the batch live on the such tours because it's a big difference. Prepare on the vlog, making recording from the paper, read everything out from the paper, and just say spontaneous and the such with danger of icicles could falling down. But as you see, we are live. That's just a big thanks. We wish you all Merry Christmas. Big thanks for following my channel. You say channel started 7 years ago, but the real activity started in COVID. As Holger said, there's just COVID that changed everything, but it's just in that time there was a real streaming. Big thanks again for any supporters, followers of my channel, Tom Guide Krakow, and see you again in the nice places around Kraków and other places of Poland. Big thanks. Bye bye.